Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jason, aka Caltros. For today's video, I'm going to be covering my personal settings that I use for Warzone and multiplayer for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Some of these you may have to adjust for your sensitivity until you get used to a higher sensitivity. Before we get too far, please, if you're new, like and subscribe to this channel for more up-to-date content like this. Also, leave me a comment. I've got a couple ideas. I just don't know what videos you guys want first. I could do a Warzone tip video, try to help you guys get that win. I could also do a loadout video of which loadouts I prefer for not only Warzone but multiplayer. I could also do a recoil video for each weapon, the natural recoil, so you know what to adjust to. Just let me know in those comments below. Alright, for my settings, I do have the default layout. That is the original ping system. Up on the ping for Warzone, tactical equipment is the bumpers and normal trigger response. I do have my melee set to toggle. I enjoy it as toggle instead of B. I would prefer it because every time I need a melee, it is up close. Some people do switch the melee buttons to B. They also like to slide with B. I prefer to something like that I really need. I don't want to move my thumb off of my directional, so I always prefer it on my toggle. Alright, next thing is the stick layout. They do have a couple options, but me personally just leave it at default. If you're a normal Call of Duty player, you're probably going to enjoy it. Just everything default for right there for those two. Inverted is also disabled. I don't like having my stuff inverted unless I'm flying or if I'm underwater. Those are the only times I like my toggles to be inverted. I do have my dead zone set to 3. You can set it to 2. All this is when your toggle will actually react. There is a dead zone, a tiny little circle, so your toggle actually has to move outside of that circle before it's registering it. I have it set to 3 because I do tend to go right on my toggle a lot, so it's trying to actually spin me on my right toggle. So I have it set to 3 so it gets rid of that and it slows it down a little bit if I walk away from my controller, so I'm not just spinning. But you could set it to 0 if you like. If you've got a perfectly working controller, once I get a new controller, I will set it to 0. If you're working on a mouse, set it to 0. That way, every movement you do, it will track. For sensitivity, that's where everyone will always be a little different. I have my sensitivity at 8 right now. I have been working up to it. I do it with every game, as I'll start the sensitivity at whatever the default is. If I feel like I'm not actually getting on target quick enough, I'll up the sensitivity up a little bit. The second I start feeling like I'm losing control and I'm almost on target, but I just go a little bit past him, and then when I try to correct, I go to the other side of him. That's when I'll down it just a little bit. That's my sweet spot right now, is 8 and 7. So far, the last 2 updates, every time there's been an update, I've had it downgraded down to 7, and then I had to work it back up to 8 again. So I recommend you do that. Do wherever you feel comfortable first. And what I recommend with that is go through the range and run around with just the pistol. See how quick you could go through that with just the pistol and on target with just one shot. Try to set a time. Whatever your time is, that is what your close range is. For Warzone, you may change it up a little bit. Sometimes for Warzone, I'll actually drop it down to a 7, just because everything's far away. I don't need to react as quick as I do on multiplayer. On multiplayer, I ramp it up all the way back up to an 8 or a 9. My aim down sight sensitivity, what I care about is I want to be able to beat someone around mid-range to low range. For the low zoom, I want to be able to beat someone really close to me full out sprinting with my aim down sights. So I have it ramped up to a little bit higher. I could actually have control of it, but my big thing is I don't want to aim right behind you and not be able to get in front of you. So I want to be able to correct it with my aim down sights. If I'm just off a little bit, I want to be able to correct it while you're sprinting. And that's my buddy OverPoweredYeti. He is also a fellow Twitch streamer and YouTuber. I will have the link to his channel down below and on the video right here. And for aim response curve type, I have set mine to leaner. A lot of people don't understand exactly what this option is. So if you have it at standard, all that really does is it makes it to where if you barely touch your toggle over, you're going to move slower than if you put your toggle all the way over to as far as it'll go. That'll be your full speed, not counting your tactical sprint. So with me set it at leaner, all that really does is it makes it even across the board. So if I barely touch my toggle, I'm moving the same speed as if I put it all the way over. No matter what, it's all consistent. I prefer it that way. That way I always know exactly how it's going to move. Sometimes it's moved slower than before if I had it at standard, so leaner just keeps it all consistent. Lets me be on target more often than not. I personally always turn my controller vibration off. I'm using a wireless controller. I don't want it vibrating. I set it down sometimes. I don't want it falling off of stuff and causing damage or breaking itself. Like having a messed up toggle that causes me to have my dead zone at 3. Alright, for aim assist, I have mine set to focusing. All that really does is it's a strong slowdown the second I am on the target. This doesn't really work for like snipers if they're 100 meters away or something like that. It's only for close. So when you're really swinging around, especially not aiming down sights and you're doing a quick aim down sights, I have it set to focusing. That way when I'm closer to the enemy, it slows down more and I know to start getting ready to get off my toggle. Focusing lets that happen because it slows down the closer you are to the target. For weapon mounting, I do have it as just aim down sights. I did have it to where I had a toggle as well. I didn't mind it. I don't usually mount on things unless I got an LMG or I'm trying to work on camos. But for the most part now with Warzone, how I play Warzone so often is I do have ADS as aim down sights because I would rather be mounted on something in Warzone than not mounted on something. I do have this set to just releasing the aim down sights. That way when I want to run away, try to get out and get some shields on, I could easily just release my trigger and turn around.
30 seconds.
My aim down sights is hold. I don't want to click it again to unrelease because sometimes I may have to dodge behind a car. I may just try to get some bullets into him to cause the fight or flight, get him to get into some cover, think about his decision before he engages again, and hopefully buy me some time to get to some cover. I do have my equipment behavior set to hold. You can just set it to toggle. I personally like hold because it lets me cook my grenades. It lets me get that precise throw for my C4s and my throwing knives. But if you just like to toss it and get it out there so you can get your weapon back up, set it to toggle by all means. For reload, I do have it as tap to reload. A lot of people do take it to contextual tap, so it's tap to reload and tap to pick up. What I found out that that's not a good idea in is the final circle on Warzone. The final circle on Warzone, there's dead bodies everywhere. So I've had a bunch of times where it makes me tap and I would just want to reload, but I'm picking up stuff. During a time like that, the hectic final circle of Warzone, I don't want to have to remember that I might have to hold to reload. I would rather just tap to reload. I'm perfectly fine with dealing with the headache of holding to pick up all of these equipment items off of the ground in Warzone, just so I could do a quick reload if I need. But if you're perfectly fine with always holding to reload, you could also do it to tap to use and just always know to hold to reload. Depleted ammo switch. I do have it set to enabled because if I do run out of my SMG ammo, I would rather it switch to whatever I got left. I'm not going to run up and punch a guy, especially if he's 50 meters away. Me personally, I would rather it switch so I get more bullets down range because I don't always run into opportunities where I run out of ammo and I need to hit somebody. I mainly have this set for a tap to make it quicker. I don't want to hold and have that half-second delay while I'm holding it to slide. I want to slide when I say slide. Auto movement forward, I have that disabled. That's if you set your controller down and you want to walk, you just auto move forward, double tap it. They did bring this in other games like PUBG. Just makes you automatically sprint. You don't have to continually hold it if you're running across the field. Alright, I have mine set to automatic sprint. So when I move forward while standing, it is already sprinting, but I still have to tap it to make it tactical sprint. You can make it to automatic tactical sprint. What I've run into though is it does make it harder for close range fights because you're always tactical sprinting. So unless it's an SMG or a pistol, it takes a little bit longer to pull up that gun. I had that happen to me with this LMG. Made it so slow while I was trying it out, so I set it to automatic sprint and I've just loved it there. It's been the best thing. I'm always sprinting, but I could tactical sprint if I need to with a quick button. I have my vehicle camera recenter to disabled. If you have someone chasing you, you might want to watch them. A lot of times if I'm on a road, I could actually drive backwards for quite a while without hitting anything just by looking at the mini-map. So I could keep eyes behind me or all around me and still be moving forward. Alright, for parachute auto deploy, enable it. That way you don't ever accidentally fall to your death. If you've never pulled your parachute before, you will always have the parachute pulled no matter what. If you're lagging, if you're lagging in the air, you always have that parachute pulled if you haven't pulled it yet. Alright, now on to general. This one will be really quick. I have my brightness set to 50%. It's better color for a lot of my videos. I used to have it set to higher for multiplayer because a lot of people in dark characters would actually hide in the shadows and they were really good at it. But since then, been doing more videos, so I've set it back to 50% just for video quality. You can set it up higher if you run into people hiding in shadows too often and you don't see them. Set it to higher, you'll actually be able to see them just a little bit better. For safe area, that is just the border of your television. Just that all the way to the edge, and you should be good to go. Film grain, I have it set to 0. Gives you a little bit better quality. It lets players stand out more. They pop more. It does make it look slightly more cartoony is what some people say. Personally, I just think it sharpens the image. Yes, it makes it look more like a video game, but less likely for people to blend into a wall. Tooltips I have enabled. If you ever come across one of the phones for the Bunker 11, you will actually be able to see that, and that's all that is it gives you little tiny markers of pressing X to open up a door, peeking and stuff like that. That's all it really does. I keep it enabled. That way everyone knows what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. And then the rest of this is all going to be a matter of who you are. If you're color disabled, they do have a couple options to help you out that may actually help your gameplay and improve the color quality of your gameplay as well. I have my subtitles enabled for hearing impaired that watch me stream, and if I ever do videos of the campaign, that way they could understand what's going on. They turn the subtitles on for my YouTube as well to hear what I'm saying. And I feel like these two options are the cause of a lot of people getting angry when they're like, where was this guy? I was just there. And that's because they're turning around, it's blurring the world, and it's blurring your weapon. You're not really sure what's going on. Someone could easily hide in a shadow, a rock, or even if their uniform is the same color as the wall, they could just be standing right in front of you, and you could have missed it because of the blur effect. So I have this disabled for a crystal clear image while I'm mid-spin. If I'm doing a 360, I could still see everything crystal clear. I do have my mini-map set to a square because it does feel bigger. It feels like it covers more surface area, so I can actually see more of what's around me than the little circle. Even in the little sample image that you can see right here, you can clearly see that you're seeing more on the square map than you are on the circle map. So I have mine set to square to see more. And thank you for stopping by. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this video for more content like this. Let me know what type of video I should do next. And as always, you could follow me on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter for up-to-date streams, next videos, and also just funny memes. Alright, I hope you guys all have a good one.